How is everyone doing? I'm NiiNiiFC. This is Bluelions TV. Welcome to the match review. Sorry, welcome to the match review. Welcome to the live stream for a Q&A one this time. Thank you, Alex Goldberg, for coming on. I thought I would do things a bit different for today. You guys have the opportunity to ask me or Alex any questions you want. And of course, when the lineup news is announced later at 7, we are going to briefly talk about it. Alex is going to go for like 5 minutes briefly just to sort out his Twitter feed quickly, but he is going to come back to resume taking questions. So you guys, yeah, of course, today's live stream is brought to you by the One Football app. Obviously, thank you to everyone that helps support me by downloading the app. And the link in the description below is going to be a link to the app. What you guys are waiting for, it's the most convenient football app to have. You've got a great streamer, great source of news, transfer news, player stats, etc., etc. And they have the alert feature, which is very handy as well. So you guys, if you do download the app in time, when it is 7 o'clock, you are going to get an alert to your phone telling you guys the lineup for today. Super convenient, what you're waiting for. But anyway, getting straight into things. Of course, Alex, bro, what you say, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you, man? Sorry about the weird setup today.
No, it's okay. It's okay, man. I forgive you. Of course, you guys, if you want your question prioritized, send a super chat. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be 50p, it can be £1, whatever. There's going to be a lot of questions coming in today, so don't be mad if we can't answer all your questions. As I said, you want your questions prioritized. That's why the super chat button is there. But going through some of the questions, how's everyone doing? Let's look for the first one. And you guys, remember, either type in Nini or Alex if you want either one of us to answer your question. Make sure you make it very clear. Don't be very generic with it. But okay, Imad. Yes, Imad, what you saying, man? Alex, this is a question for you. He wants to know if you're sitting in a geography classroom.
Let's just say I'm not normally in this room. The Byline setup is where I feel most comfortable. But you know what? When you cover a beautiful game of football, it helps to have these maps around you.
Exactly. That's a fun fact for you guys. Someone, Charles, recall Reese. That's the new hashtag, yeah? Recall Reese.
Oh yeah, man. It's all about hashtag recall Reese now. And confusion. I obviously don't mean right now. I mean, come on. Obviously, I don't mean right now. I mean this summer. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But that's the movement. That's the very important movement. You know, my thing is, Nini, whether we get our transfer ban frozen and we can make moves, or whether we can't, the movement remains the same. Hashtag recall Reese. Exactly.
I stand by that, you guys. I'm in full support for that. I'm hoping to see Reece James back doing his thing. But you guys, remember, you have the opportunity to ask either me or Alex any questions you want. It can be anything. But okay, Ahmed, Nini, who would you give the number 10 to? That is an interesting question. Can't lie, I haven't really paid too much thought into that. So sorry about that. Alex, a question for you. Alex, okay, sorry, that's not a real question. My bad. Come on, what's everyone waiting for? Real talk, what's happening? Everyone's really slow getting into this stream so far. We've got 275 people here. Come on, you guys, get them questions coming in. And I said, remember, either put in Nini or Alex if you want your question answered by either one of us. I'm seeing a lot of people putting in questions. That's not really to anyone. But, okay.
You know who I'd give the number 10 to?
Who would you give the number 10 to?
Rob Green after nutmegging Marcos Alonso.
Wow. You know what, yeah? It's been kind of peak for guys like him. It's been kind of peak for guys like Ross Barkley too. Have you seen that video of them going to that club?
Ooh. Yeah, I saw Ross Barkley dancing, if you want to call it.
My God. I cringed so hard, bro, when I saw that.
Yikes.
Wow. I know, like, obviously my guy's a bit drunk, he's a bit happy, but still, like, he's one of them drunks.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was rough to see.
It was rough to see. I couldn't even watch the full video. That's how much I was cringing. Not gonna lie. But that's footballer confidence for you. You know, it's a real thing. I keep telling you guys, footballer confidence is a real thing. Once you earn a certain amount, you can do whatever you want.
Did you hear David Neres, the Ajax player, what he?
Yeah, of course.
All he did to get his girlfriend was say, "I'm David Neres. Come to me."
I mean, I like the come to me part. That was the boss move. You know what? One day we'll get to that stage. But okay, looking for questions. Alfie Brown, Alex, what's your opinion on Billy Gilmour? Love your content. What are your thoughts on Billy Gilmour?
Appreciate that. I really like Billy Gilmour. You know, from everything I've obviously seen, just watching the games on my laptop from the academy, he seems like another one of those youngsters that just kind of has that mentality it factor. And obviously, as a midfielder, I really like his ability to go forward. He's not the biggest of players, which, you know, I can't fully judge him until I see him maybe against other professional players, not just at academy level. But I would love to see Billy Gilmour get a good loan next year, whether it's championship, whether it's a test loan himself, you know, something like that. Because I really do rate the kid. I actually think, you know, it's tough to talk about Billy Gilmour a lot when you already have Mason Mount a level ahead. Yeah. But he is somebody that I definitely rate quite a bit. Yeah,
I think he's a rare British player, in my opinion. The game he plays, you know, it's all about control, keeping the tempo. Yeah. And for me, I don't know, I thought maybe Sarri would have been keeping more of an eye on him. I think that he could be a player that Sarri could develop, especially when there've been a lot of younger players around his age that, you know, Sarri has been keeping his eye on. You know, we've been speaking about players that, you know, Sarri's been interested in. But of course, thank you, Harry Truman, for the super chat. Nini, how do we get rid of Alonso with his 5-year deal? Wow. The only way I can think of is if, you know, if we say Real Madrid's pay us 120 million for Hazard and we'll throw in Alonso for free. That's the only thing I can think of. What about you, Alex? How would you get rid of Marcos Alonso?
You know, it's funny. The other day I tweeted that, you know, with Hazard, you want to get as much money as possible, and how I don't want Kovacic to lessen the fee for Hazard. Now I'm thinking, if we could just give Alonso in the deal, I would lessen the fee. That's how bad they are.
Real talk, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That was an ill-advised deal in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, blame Marina for that. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Transfer bans, panic is crazy.
Sarri went a little far in praising him at the beginning of the season, but that's not Sarri's fault that Alonso's tied up for as long as he is. It's just unfortunate. You gotta hope that he's 28 now, Marcos Alonso. Mm-hmm. I'm in an awkward spot where it's like I want him to play. When he plays, I want him to play well almost, so another team wants him. But then I don't want him to play. So
it's the opposite for me. I'm kind of hoping that he keeps underperforming. So then we just like really, you know what? It doesn't even matter about making a profit on Marcos Alonso, in my opinion. He's never going to be a player that's going to get you a profit. Let's be serious. It's only downhill from here, in my opinion. Whatever money we get for him, let's keep it moving. But we've got a few super chats coming through now. Christian, what you saying, bro? All-American CFC. Of course, you guys make sure I'm going to be having him on in the future for a live stream. So you guys probably know him from his podcast as well. Stay tuned for that. Your question is Game of Thrones on Sunday. All-American CFC out. You know what? When it comes to Game of Thrones, that's that. I've been trying to find a series to watch with my girl. We told ourselves, we agreed upon the fact that it is going to be Game of Thrones, but we haven't found the time to watch it yet, and I'm far behind. But to this day, and it's been years that Game of Thrones has been on, to this day, nothing's been spoiled for me. I don't know anything that's happened. I've been very diligent in making sure I don't know. I'll get to that soon. What about you? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I'm one episode. I'm like that classic guy who rebels when everything is being really popular. I am almost just like, what's the rush? I'll wait. So no, I haven't watched it yet. I'm not ruling it out. There's nothing about Game of Thrones that I'm saying I wouldn't like.
Yeah.
I simply have not dove into it.
Yeah, same. I mean, there's only so much time in the day. You know what I mean? They're busy guys. You know what I mean? You're going to be an even busier guy.
Yeah, I'm about to be a father.
Exactly.
You know? I wouldn't say it's going to happen anytime soon.
Exactly. But we've got a few more super chats. Dan O'Flaherty, thank you, bro. Sup, how about discuss backup registas Van Ginkel? Alex, what do you think of Van Ginkel as a backup regista?
It's an interesting thought. It's something that I brought up actually when I did on my YouTube channel, midfielders I'd keep for next year if Chelsea can't make moves this summer. I wouldn't say Van Ginkel is really a prototype regista.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if anything, he's a goal-scoring midfielder. I mean, he was at PSV. Now, a lot of his goals were penalties, but he really does like to get forward. He's got an ability to score. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't do a fill-in job in the Regista role, because I think he does have some of the qualities to play the position, but I just don't think that's the best spot for him. However, I'm not going to lie. I did say he could back up Jorginho if Chelsea can't make moves this summer. And that's a huge difference between me wanting him there and me saying, okay, if Chelsea can't make moves, I might have him at least play that role at times. But really, Nini, if he was on the team next year, Chelsea could not make moves this summer, and Van Ginkel stayed and he didn't go on loan, I would have him in all three spots. I mean, that's, you know, he's a capable midfielder.
You're right.
If anything, he's a goal-scoring midfielder, though, you know?
Exactly. I mean, it's a massive shame for the guy to be that, you know, out injured for that long, especially when he was doing a lot of big things at PSV. He is a box-to-box midfield player, but he does have that tenacity when it comes to the tackle. He does win you tackles. He does win you points as well. In a different alternate universe, I mean, this guy is fully fit. He never gets that injury when he first signed for us. Remember when Mourinho was here? That was the thing that really ruined it for him from the start, because it seemed like Mourinho was going to actually use him for a bit. So hopefully he does get back to fitness soon. And I definitely think that he's always been a player for me that could have a future here, because I think that with how we use our midfield now, he has a lot of attributes that could really benefit a squad over a season. So, you know, obviously let's stay tuned for Van Ginkel. Hopefully he gets a quick recovery. And Callum Ross, thank you, bro, for the super chat. Thoughts on what Sarri said about wanting to sign Kovacic, Nini? Love the content you guys give us. Great work. We appreciate that. Now, you guys, a lot of you guys should already know my opinion on us signing Kova. I like it. I mean, there's a lot of sense. I think that, yeah, he's worked under Sarri for a while. Kova, in that sense, is kind of like a Van Ginkel in the sense that he can play across the field. We know that there's certain positions like number 8. He's not going to do well in. But I do think that, you know, over the course of a season, especially if it's next season as well, I could see Sarri rotating Jorginho and Kova a bit more. I think that Kova has worked under Sarri for a year. It'd be like a waste if he was just to leave and nothing happened in the end. I think that signing Kova would make sense, because you guys, you know, when I think of signing players, I think about a squad and I think about a strong squad for the course of a season. And I definitely think that Kova has shown that he can be useful for a squad. Not saying first team, but he's one of those players where if he wants to be first team, do well in training, you know. Another question, Alexander. Hey man, okay, this is for you, Alex. Do you think Jorginho can become even better?
Better than he is now? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's one thing to expect Chelsea to be the Napoli of last year this year. That's ridiculous. If anyone thought that you would just get the best version of Sarri's Chelsea this season, his first year, no way. But especially Jorginho, oh man, there's no way Jorginho would get worse from this point. If anything, he would get better. It didn't just happen overnight in Naples. You know, it took some time for Jorginho to gel with his teammates, or the other way, Nini, as you know, for his teammates to gel with him. I mean, part of the reason why Jorginho, and I know you made this point as well, Nini, is part of the reason why Jorginho looked so damn good last Wednesday is the teammates around him were starting to do their job, and that's when he looked better. So, absolutely, Jorginho is only going to get more comfortable with the physicality of the league. He's only going to get more comfortable with his teammates. I think he can only improve from here, and I still think he's been better than most people have given him credit for.
Yeah, I agree, and of course, you know, you guys, you know, with Alex, you know, he does the Calcio Lands podcast, goes through Serie A. The guy's an expert on the league. He's been seeing Jorginho for years, and there's been a reason why he's never been critical of the guy, and he's told people to be patient. And you know, I completely agree, man. I think that Jorginho, it depends on the quality of service around him and what the other players are doing to get the best out of him. But as you guys can see on the screen, if you haven't followed Alex Goldberg already, what are you waiting for? As you guys can see in the link in the description below, will be a link to his Twitter page. Click on that. Obviously, Alex, I got to shout you out, bro. You're doing big things. 52k followers. I feel it's like every day numbers are just rising like crazy every single time.
Those are some courageous people.
Exactly. But getting back to some more questions. What are we seeing? Okay. I mean, you guys. Okay, I got another super chat here. Boom. Savio Jones, thank you, bro. Are we gonna develop Stamford Bridge to 60,000 a 60,000 seater capacity stadium. Alex, I'll ask you again, bro. What do you think about that?
So we're adding 18,000 seats. Is that what he's suggesting?
I think that's what Savio's suggesting. Are we going to develop? It's a very open-ended question, to be fair. So,
yeah, I mean,
yeah, up to interpretation.
That's a big upgrade, and, you know, some people might not want to hear my opinion since I'm obviously not over there. However, you know, I can tell you from where I'm sitting, I love the intimacy of Stamford Bridge, and I don't know how long I'd want Chelsea playing at a neutral site. I'm not saying playing at Wembley, there isn't an alert to that, but I guess I think I would want to see like what it would look like, you know what I mean? And more importantly, I mean, this is my kind of unselfish answer, is that is where I would want to kind of poll season ticket holders and people who go to games like yourself, NiiNii.
Yeah.
Because that's where I feel like the fans who do go to the game should have a little bit more say, you know what I mean?
Exactly. When it comes to fans, being an international Chelsea fan, hey, if you guys want to hear our thoughts and opinions, you know what you have to do. But going through the questions, let me see, what else is there? Yes, D-Lord, what you saying, man? Sup, NiiNii, Alex. Do you think Zuma should be given a chance for next season? I'm going to start with that question. 1,000,000%. You know what I found really funny? And I knew this from the start. The minute people actually watch Zuma play a game, then they'd realise how good he is. I mean, the guy's been playing on the left Everton throughout the season. Progressive passes. I'm not saying he's David Luiz where his pass completion is going to be like really high, but he does, you know, has that confidence in his ability to be able to make those progressive passes which he needs. Aerially, him and Van Dijk are the best in the league, in my opinion. The last ditch tackles, we saw that against Arsenal. We've missed seeing that type of defending. You know, that type of clean tackle where it's like you're not even getting any mud on your shorts when you're winning the ball, you know? That's how clean he is. Zuma, for me, he needs to be back in the team. I think the guy can still be a world-class defender. I've always really rated him very highly as well. And he hasn't actually been bad at all. I mean, Stoke, he was doing very well. Same thing at Everton. He's progressing. He's improving even more. And when you just see how, you know, Sarri used Koulibaly. I remember seeing all the press reports. Oh, yeah, what can Sarri do with Koulibaly? You know, he doesn't have the technique. He can't do this. He can't do that. He always had it. Maybe we didn't see it under Benitez. But I think Sarri could definitely work with Zuma, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a Koulibaly transformation in Zuma if he gets that pre-season. But Alex, what's your thoughts? Do you think that Zuma should come back, or do you think it makes more sense to profit on the player and get rid of him?
Yeah, no, I'm pro Zuma. I definitely feel bad about that injury he suffered a couple of years ago, because who knows where he would be if he. And I do agree with you that I think he does have underrated ball playing ability. I think some people look at him as sloppy or raw in that aspect, and I totally disagree. You know what I hate is I've heard a handful of people say, you know what, he was on Stoke last year, they got relegated, he's crap. Come on now.
That argument,
I hate that. You know, and I'm not saying that this is the exact same comparison, but it does remind me. Sorry, my bad.
It's cool, man.
It does remind me of people saying Tammy Abraham's crap because, you know, Swansea was so bad that season. It's like, look at the context. You know, NiiNii, I know you always say this too. Look at the context.
Yeah.
Look at Zuma. Look at Zuma last year. He was good, and this year he's even better. And I love his aerial ability, and maybe most importantly, I love his attitude. I mean, I love his attitude. He's fearless. He's clearly a guy that all his teammates like. I would at least have him in the mix. I really would. Exactly.
One more question. Nixka, Matt Sam. This is for you, Alex. When did you start supporting Chelsea?
Yeah. So I've answered this question
a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2007, 2008 season, where Chelsea were seemingly runners-up in absolutely everything. But yeah, I just fell in love with Frank Lampard, man. It's right on the spot. I've always been a sports fan. You know, I grew up in the United States, obviously, only really liking United States sports, basketball, huge one. So it took me a little bit longer, but like the coverage just was not as good of the Premier League or even the sport in general over here. And I can tell you pretty much what play or at least just what moment it was that I found all my favorite athletes. And I don't know the game, but I remember it was a Lampard, pretty long shot, and I just thought to myself, damn, I want to be able to do that. And yeah, it was Frank Lampard. It was the 07-08 team.
Yeah, that water team, that was like, feels like such a long time. And it's like, when I was young, I really took that squad. Yeah, I mean, that team back in those days, some fantastic players, individual talent, and you thought that it would last forever. You know, that's the thing. That's the mistake we make as fans. We think that whenever we see something good, it's going to be sustainable. You've got to work for sustainability, you know. But we've got 2 more super chats. Mathieu S. Thoughts on our under-19s? Why does Edwards still go 3 at the back? That is an interesting question. I'm not going to lie, I'm not too well versed on the under-19s. As well as, you know, as much as I've been with the youth teams over previous seasons, I'm not going to lie, you guys, I'll be honest, you know, with how we use our youth players, it does get a bit depressing after a while, and you do lose a bit of motivation, knowing that, you know, what's the point in a way, because we're never going to see them play. But I mean, the only explanation I can think of maybe is that, you know, he's using the formation based on the personnel he has in his squads. Alex, do you got any suggestions as to why Joe Edwards is using a 3 at the back for the under-19s?
Yeah, I'm not going to try and sound like I know the exact reason.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've heard 2 accounts, at Chelsea Youth and at Carefree Youth. Both kind of talk about that and say, you know, it doesn't mean that the players don't have a hope or a future to be on the senior squad, but there can be so many different reasons. I mean, think about it. When you use 3 at the back, maybe, and once again, I'm just guessing here, but maybe you have 3 center backs you'd rather get game time versus fullback. You know, there can be a lot of different reasons. And, you know, if you're using 3 at the back, yeah, you can also play more center backs. But if you have a wing back or an LMRM, it doesn't mean that they're still not applying their trade as fullbacks, so to speak. So it honestly might be something that a bunch of clubs do. I'm just not sure. And I don't want to answer a question about U19 that I admittedly don't know the concrete answer to. Yeah,
exactly. Let me find some more questions. I know you need to leave pretty soon. We've got about 4 minutes until we get the lineup. So, yeah, let me just ask you quickly. I'm going to ask you something. Is there a possibility that Sarri is going to use the lineup we're expecting to see and the lineup we want to see? Is he going to use that same lineup that he used against Brighton? Or do you think that he might make 1 or 2 tweaks?
I mean, by the time I'm done with this answer, people might know the real answer anyway. But you know what? Like, I thought it was interesting on Friday. He said, when someone asked him about starting Hudson-Odoi, he said, well, I have to figure out who's going to start on Monday and then who's going to start on Thursday against Slavia Prague. Yeah. Well, really, whoever starts today is also pretty much starting against Liverpool because it's a quick turnaround from Thursday to Sunday. So, and I assume Sarri knows that. I mean, Sarri is the one who constantly talks about, oh, well, this person just played a few days ago. So I would assume the people we see play on Thursday really are not going, for the most part, are not going to be starting on Sunday against Liverpool. So I hope it's that same team against Brighton, because guess what? That was a while ago. They've had 4 full days rest, you know. So, you know me, I want players to start on merit, and I thought that team was just the best team to put out that day, and I think it's the best team to put out today against West Ham. But I am a little skeptical that that's going to be the exact team.
Alex, the lineup has come out, of course, from Carefree Youth. You know what, you guys? You know, one day I'm going to shout out a lot of the, you know, Chelsea content creators, social media accounts, etc., that I feel need to be followed. Carefree Youth is definitely one of them. Fantastic work every single time. The lineup has been announced. I don't know if I should ruin it. In 3 minutes, you know, Chelsea's Twitter account is going to announce it. It'll be much better to go through it, you know, when it's actually there. But I think that a lot of people are going to be pretty happy. I know some guys in the chat.
I'm going to log off for just a second.
Right? Yeah, do your thing, man. I'll take it over from here.
Back.
Yeah, come back in a bit.
All right.
But you guys, yeah, the lineup's looking, it's looking interesting. I can't fib. It's looking decent. It's looking decent. But answer a few more questions. When it's 7, I am going to obviously have the whole lineup on screen, so you guys just bear with me. If anyone's got any more questions for me, I'm going to be going through them now. Okay. You guys already know what the lineup is, of course. Shout out to Carefree Youth. Okay, RV. Could Mason Mount be Isco? Could Mason Mount be Isco-like, where Sarri converts him to a left wing if we call him back for next season? I think with someone like Mason Mount, he's always been pretty versatile in the positions he plays. And I think that if you're a guy like Sarri, it's always just amazing to have those types of different solutions that you have in your squads. I think Mason Mount for me is better in midfield, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually, you know, playing in different positions as well. Let me just get rid of this, move it back to myself. You know what, I'm going to quickly plug the OneFootball app again. You guys, if you want to help me out, and if you want to do yourselves a favour as well, in the link in the description below, there's going to be a link to the OneFootball app. If you guys have downloaded it, you will be getting an alert in the next minute announcing the lineup. So if you guys want to help me out, in the link in the description below will be a link to the OneFootball app. And answering some more questions. Okay, Motion Nini, since Hazard's more or less a goner, end of the Hazard era, what do you think should be the new era to plan a little rather than wasting it? Wow. Okay, that was really hard to read. With Hazard's, I mean, for me, I just think now would be let's invest in Hudson-Odoi. I think it's simple. We don't need to buy. If we use the Hazard money, we invest it on the right wing or in a different position. Hudson-Odoi is the future at left wing for me. We don't need to sign any player. I don't think Hudson-Odoi needs like you know, massive competition for that role as well. I think the guy is a real deal. I like to see him grow and improve in that situation. But it's looking like, okay, let me get the lineup ready, you guys. Let me see if these guys have got it now. Boom. Interacts. One sec, you guys. I need to get the stream deck actually. When I get the stream deck, it'll make my life much easier. And the lineup, as you guys can see on screen. Kepa and goal. Aspie, Rudiger, Luiz and Emerson. Okay, disappointing not to see Christensen. But of course, you know, with how many games we've got in a row, it does make sense and it's not really that deep. Emerson, Jorginho, Kante, Ruben. Yep. Hudson-Odoi, Higuain and Hazard. So I was, every single time I'm close to predicting the full lineup, there's always one player that messes it up for me. So thank you, Christensen. But exciting times, you guys. Real talk. This is very exciting. I'm looking forward to this game. 59 minutes to go. Triple H up front. Hazard, Hudson-Odoi, Higuain with Ruben. I think this is going to be the game today where Higuain's going to have a lot of fun. I actually really feel that he's going to have a lot of fun against West Ham because, you know, West Ham defenders are guys that, you know, they like to mark their man. But when you defend, it's about positional sense, you know, how you read the game, etc., etc. And I don't feel like guys like Diop and Brenner are that good in my opinion. I think that Higuain can have a lot of fun with guys like Ruben as well and Hazard and Emerson down the left. And something told me when Sarri saw just how well that left-hand side played, how can you go back to anything else? How can you really go back to anything else? It just improved the team tenfold and it makes a lot of sense. We know that, sorry, under Napoli, the left-hand side was the main side for breaking down teams. How could we do that with guys like Barkley and Alonso with Hazard? We can't. But with Emerson, Ruben and oh, it's going to be an exciting game tonight, you guys. A very exciting game. Let me get back to the stream. Answering a few more questions. We're going to be on for another 15 minutes before we keep it moving. So stay tuned for that. Yo, Nini. Sorry, you guys. Let me just find the next question. Leon Cianini, do you think Zola buys and wears kids' clothes? Yeah, you're no brilliant, man. No brilliant. Gotti Reyes, thank you, bro. Nini, what are your thoughts on Rory from CFC Fan TV saying the fans that don't go to watch games at Stamford Bridge, opinions don't matter? Thank you for the super chat and perfect timing. Alex is here. Gotti, if you just give me a few minutes, I want to hear Alex's thoughts on the lineup and what he's thinking. So you guys, you should be seeing Alex on your screen right now.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, take your time, bro. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Alex is back. So that lineup, are you excited? Of course, you have to be excited, of course.
Yeah, of course. You know what? Major props to Sarri because it wasn't the exact same team against Brighton out there today. But, well, first of all, Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek starting. I mean, what Chelsea fans not going to be just over the moon about that? So,
exactly.
I mean, hugely well done to Maurizio Sarri there because he's starting those two guys and Emerson. We'll see if Alonso's injured. But either way, he's starting those guys on merit, which is fantastic from Maurizio Sarri. And then, yeah, I know some people probably wanted to see Christensen in there and maybe even Giroud in there. But here's where I actually am going to applaud Sarri again. Even though I wanted Christensen ideally starting today, I've been talking about for a while that Sarri needs to rotate in terms of putting a fire under some players' asses and have healthy team competition. He was doing that with Emerson and Alonso a little bit. And I've been saying, well, why doesn't he just do it at center back? Why doesn't he drop Rudiger one game, drop Luiz one game, and just have these center backs, you know, actually fight for their job a little bit? So, Nini, I think Rudiger should respond today pretty well. I feel like he might think to himself, all right, Christensen played well. The team played well without me in there. So let's see what Rudiger has now that he had to fear for his job a little bit. Same goes with the striker position. I was 50-50 on who I wanted starting today at striker because Giroud's in better form. He really kind of deserves it more. However, two things. Giroud also is killing it in the Europa League. So, I mean, maybe that's the place to play him on Thursday. He can continue to get his golden boot. But also, Higuain was acquired to help us this season first and foremost. So I'm kind of hoping Higuain also feels like, oh, crap, you know what, now's my time to really, I got to respond now. And if Sarri can do that, where he's keeping a couple of these players fighting against each other, that really makes the best team performance.
Exactly. I think, could there be an argument too that Rudiger's playing because maybe Arnautovic is going to be up front and, you know, Rudiger's very physical, Arnautovic is very strong. And, you know, maybe the only weakness I would say that Christensen has is that maybe he's not as strong in the 50-50 against very physical strikers, but he's young and over time he'll develop and, you know, it's not that deep in my opinion. But let me ask you this too. Is there an argument as well that maybe Sarri had every right to be patient with actually, you know, producing this lineup we're seeing now? Because he felt like a lot of the guys weren't good enough off the ball defensively. Because I know I've definitely fallen into the same trap myself because, you know, at times I was thinking, you see what they benefit, you know, you see what they bring in that attacking sense. Maybe some of these guys aren't amazing yet off the board, tactically, defensively, but should that be enough of a reason to not have them in the team? I guess the manager's always right because, you know, one thing we never thought about is the fact that, you know, he's given these guys a task to work on every single day. They've been improving, he's been rewarding them and they have been showing form. And now it looks like everything's fallen into place, maybe just at the right time, right at the end, as the season's about to end. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go too far and say, I'm not saying you're saying this, but I'm not going to go too far and say Sarri was planning to keep these guys in bubble wrap and then all of a sudden unleash them at the end of the season. Because, you know, I do think they're, you know, with youngsters, yes, managers might want to be more patient and build them up slowly. But more importantly, let's pretend the game against Brighton wasn't that convincing. Let's pretend it was 2-1 and it wasn't that great of a performance. Well, I think Sarri would have went back to maybe some of his regulars. So I think Wednesday was a really important game. I really think, I mean, hell, I might get carried away here, but that might have been the turning point for not only this season, but maybe even for the future of Sarri at the club and even some other players at the club. I mean, I think that was a hugely, hugely important game. Now, is it fair that Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek and Emerson get these smaller sample sizes to really impress compared to the veterans? No, it's not fair, but they're professionals and they still need to capitalize when they're given those opportunities. All three of them absolutely did on Wednesday. And if they didn't, Sarri might have went back to the lineup that a lot of people rolled their eyes at. So I'm glad that he capitalized. But now I'll give credit to him. I'm not going to say this was a master plan, but I'm going to give credit to him because I think he pretty much looked at his team today, Nini, and was like, I can't take Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek out. Why would I can't do that? They clearly are the best options right now.
Yeah, exactly. But again, you know, I still feel the manager as well has every right to expect a degree of excellence in the players first before he starts to really use them and trust them. I think that if you're not going to be good off the ball defensively, I can kind of understand why most managers aren't going to use players. I mean, look at Coutinho, for example, at Barcelona. He has to play out wide on the left because Valverde doesn't trust him in midfield because he doesn't have that work rate and he's always out of position and he's struggling at Barca now because on the left wing where you need to have pace and make runs and behinds, that's not his game. He can't do that. So I don't know. I'm still quite 50-50 on the whole thing though, to be honest.
Just to give, to give credit to the defensive part you're saying is, I mean, of course, Sarri needs to have a little bit more confidence in some of these players. And, you know, if you watch the press conference, reading Sarri's quotes in press conferences, by the way, I feel like just you can't get a full grasp on how he means it. But if you watch the press conference on Friday, he made it sure that people understood that Hudson-Odoi has improved defensively. Or I'm sorry, it was after the game. It was after the game on Wednesday. He liked his performance attacking wise, but he was really impressed with the defensive work Hudson-Odoi had done, and that's obviously a huge part, as you're saying, to Sarri giving him a start. He's not going to give him a start if he is shaky on how Hudson-Odoi might be defensively. And listen, I personally think Hudson-Odoi has been improving defensively for a while now. Now, obviously, I know I'm not in training, but I think this is just my one gripe. And I'm not saying even Sarri did this, but I mean, maybe he did when he said the 20 minutes Hudson-Odoi played for England wasn't great. But I saw a lot of fans say this, who like to be contrarian and go against Hudson-Odoi. I saw everybody jumping on Hudson-Odoi falling asleep on Montenegro's goal. And for me, it was like, all right, he was a little late to react. He did, by the way, end up following the run. He didn't contest it great, but multiple people were kind of at fault. But that discredited, I feel like, months of improvement from Hudson-Odoi defensively. Because if you go back and watch the Europa League performances of Hudson-Odoi before that international break, defensively, he was getting really good. I mean, he was not falling asleep. He was making tackles. He was pressing hard. I mean, he presses really impressively, in my opinion, when he runs at somebody. They panic on the ball, which I love.
Exactly. That's because that's how they've been brought up during the youth team days. So I mean, that's why they can all do that, But I was going to say one more thing just about this whole situation before we move on back to questions. But I was thinking about maybe how other managers have. I know people don't like me making comparisons, but to be honest, I don't really understand why no one likes comparisons. But and obviously looking at Mourinho and Conte, I'm looking at how they used to use Ruben. Now, of course, when Mourinho first came in his debut, he played DM against Liverpool. And I remember, that Ruben played a very safe, pragmatic game where he didn't really express himself. He kept the ball very simple. And then, obviously, he got maybe one more game after that. And then that ill-fated preseason game came. And Mourinho had a go at Ruben. And then for the next, 3 years, a lot of fans were using that same point against Ruben for that long. But it's just like, I never agreed with it, because it's like, if the guy was that young, you could have developed him to improve in that situation. And instead, what managers like Conte and Mourinho did, because they don't develop players, didn't have any time to do that, the only way of using Ruben was out of position as a cam, left wing, striker, forward. It was ridiculous. It was nonsense. Sarri, and credit to Sarri, is the first one to really develop his game and improve it. He saw his potential at midfield. He listened to Ruben, where Ruben told Sarri, I want to play number 8, it's my best position. And Sarri gave him a task. Okay, you want to play here? Go improve yourself, improve on this aspect. I want you to improve on this, improve on that. And you can see the difference, because when a player knows what he needs to do to get back in the team, you see that desire, you see the hunger. And for me, it was quite quick. It was really fast how Ruben was developing tactically. Really fast. And if it wasn't for those injuries that held him back, he would have been playing a lot more, in my opinion. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, when I knew Sarri was coming over to Chelsea, his coaching ability was one of the things that excited me, because I understood some of the talents that I feel like needed to be unleashed, and Ruben was right at the top of that. I mean, I think you said it. We've all said it. Anybody on your stream has said it. I know Joe Twitty has said it. I mean, who knows where Loftus-Cheek would be right now in this team if he didn't have those injuries at the beginning of the season, because he was becoming one of Chelsea's best players. I mean, he was flat out one of our top performers. So, and I think a lot of that was credit to Sarri even early on. I mean, I understand that sometimes he was playing right wing and he wasn't always starting, obviously. Now this is his 3rd Premier League start today. However, Sarri was clearly having an impact on Ruben even early on. And I think Sarri's been great for Ruben. I mean, that was one of Sarri's strengths at Napoli. He was really good at improving the players he had. And that's also another reason, not to circle back, but that's another reason why he says he wants Kovacic to stay, is because he knows that he would just rather take the players he has, he knows their qualities, and hopefully be able to improve them. So that's something I think has always been a strength of Sarri. Exactly. Sarri's, and it's definitely been with Loftus-Cheek.
Exactly, I agree with your point, and you know, it's that point as well, as where it's like a lot of people doubt whether Sarri would be the right guy for next season if he worked with younger players, and it's just like I never really understood that argument, because that is coaching career, that's what he's done, is improve players. So, but anyway, moving on from that, we're going to wrap things up in the next 10 minutes or under 10 minutes. Super chat question, Gotti Reyes, thank you, bro. Nini. And obviously I'll say you, Alex, what are your thoughts on Rory from CFC Fan TV saying that fans that don't go to watch games at Stamford Bridge, their opinions don't matter? Now, one thing I feel like saying too is, obviously, and it's not, listen, I'm not going to just blame it all on this, but I've noticed that obviously since Rory, and congrats to having a kid as well, let's be serious, the stress is a bit different, you know what I mean? If your baby's up at night all the time, Rory's a busy guy, he's doing big things himself as well, very stressful. And I've never really, you know, Rory for me has always been a very composed guy over the, you know, short time I've been on Twitter, but it's been recently where I've seen a lot of, a lack of composure in tweets and things. I mean, it's an observation, I'm not saying that's the main focus. I haven't been agreeing with a lot of things he's been saying. But at the same time as well, a lot of the criticism and hate he gets, I don't always agree with all of it every single time. I think that, you know, it doesn't really cancel out, in my opinion. I think that it's a bit disappointing what Rory said, in my opinion. I think that what's really annoying me is that he doesn't have any arguments, anything he feels. It's just pure emotion over really making any context from it or making any points from it. And I think that's why a lot of people are reacting quite negatively to him, because he's not giving any proper reasons as to why he feels these things. It just feels like a lot of silly bias, and I think it's quite short-sighted to stick it on, you know, fans that aren't fortunate enough to be in the country where this club's from. I mean, there's a reason why every big club wants an international audience. I mean, do fans not think... we have to thank the international fans mostly for why we're able to get the deals we get, why we're able to buy the players we get, etc, etc. It's incredibly short-sighted, and I just don't really understand anything that he's been saying recently, and it's been quite disappointing, I can't lie. What about you, Alex? I know that you've been very vocal on it. I know you've been very vocal.
Yeah, and you know, I try to be more vocal on the subject, not on him in particular. You know, I'm not even trying to give him too much time, like specifically. You know, if you've listened to me, you know how I feel about the international versus local fans. It just feels petty to me to say, oh, you're not as big of a fan, or
yeah,
you spend
childish.
this much money, and this person spends that much money, so whoever spends more money is a bigger fan, or has their opinion more validated, or it's more relevant. But, you know, let's go back to what you just said about he doesn't have any arguments. I mean, he's been on that kickoff show a couple of times now, and he's been cornered a lot of times about Sarri. He hasn't known Sarri's history at Napoli.
Yeah.
And he just recently said that even if Chelsea were to get top 4 and win the Europa League, he still wants Sarri out, which to me, Nini, he's just like backtracking at this point. He's just saying, at this point, he's just saying no matter what, he wants Sarri out. And remember, Nini, he doesn't think you're a Chelsea man because you're pro Sarri.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. And it's just like, I find it quite petty too, that basically everyone's arguing about who's a bigger fan. I think that is quite childish too, in that sense. I don't think it really matters whatsoever, in my opinion. And it's weird because obviously I don't have anything against Rory. I mean, that's why I haven't really been giving my thoughts and opinions on it. You know, I'm not that emotional. I've heard a lot of good things about him. You know, I've spoken to him a few times, so he's a nice guy. He is. So this is why I've been more surprised by how things have been with him over these past few months, because it seems a bit out of character. But, I mean, what I do find quite weird too is just like, I don't know, maybe Rory feels he's like the spokesperson for like an unheard voice of Chelsea fans. You know, the fans that are match day going ones that go there every week, you know, the ones that are getting pints during half-time. Yeah, they just come there to, you know, be in the moment for 90 minutes and they go back, live their life. Everyone's entitled to that. I just don't understand why this argument has to be on, you know, who's a bigger supporter. You know, it's just like, you know, like with religion, everyone's trying to guess like why their religion's the best. I mean, it's always you are, you know. I'm running out of words. No, my God, you know what it is? It's that I'm doing so many things, running OBS, etc., etc. It's hard to like do 5 things at once every single time. So sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, I just find the whole argument a bit childish.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. And you guys, I probably will answer one more question, then keeps it moving. Robert Sexton. Okay. No more worry questions. I think we spoke about him long enough. What other questions are there that I've missed out on? Genuine believer that Drinkwater is better than Jorginho. Oh, I wish I didn't say that out loud. And I'm not gonna say your name so no one can stick it on you. So you're lucky about that one. Dusty Rhodes. Okay, another Rory one. Everything's just Rory right now.
I mean, listen, you know, earlier today I announced that I am going to go through doing a podcast, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
And,
shout that out.
And obviously, you're coming on. You have no choice. You're coming on. But you know, I asked, you know, I already have a bunch of guests lined up that I'm really excited about. But I always want to know who do my listeners want me to have on, and 80% were Rory.
I think it'll be. I mean, I'm downloading that. If you make that happen, I think that's going to get you a lot of.
Well, I mean, listen,
downloads.
Let's just say it's going to be hard to get into contact with him or CFC Fan TV since obviously taken their precautions a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Even with CFC Fan TV, like, again, I've got nothing personal against any of the people on the channel. You know, I've spoken to all of them. You know, they're friendly, they're nice, and you know, there's like I feel there's a degree of respect among like all of us. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna give my thoughts and opinions on CFC Fan TV. I don't want to start getting into YouTube drama and stuff like that. You know, I nearly fell into that trap then, but I'm not gonna do that. But you know what? We're gonna wrap up this stream. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. When you don't have a stream deck and you use OBS, it's a lot you have to process at a given time. So I think that now is the time now where, you know, we should keep it moving. As you guys can see on the screen, Alex Goldberg's Twitter account is there. If you're not following him, I don't know what you're not doing. Make sure you go to his Twitter account and obviously follow him. Alex, when's the podcast coming, do you think?
I'm going to be launching it within the week. So I would say at the latest by this coming Sunday, you'll know what the podcast is, where to find it, and maybe even have the first episode by the end of the week. So yeah, just stay tuned to my Twitter for that announcement. Exciting
times, you guys. Just so I can wrap things up quickly, if you want to help me out, if you want to do yourself a favor as well, and the link in the description below will be a link to the One Football app. Make sure you download that to get all the stats, news, information you want surrounding players or clubs of your choice. Fantastic app. Thank you guys for coming on. And I'm thinking maybe I might make this a regular thing where, you know, before a game starts, maybe have a quick live stream, talk about the lineup selection, etc, etc. If you want to see more of that in the comment section below, make sure you comment and let me know. But we're going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later for the match review. And of course, go to Alex's channel, the Byline, later on for his match review later tonight. I'm NiiNiiFC. This is BlueLionsTV. Signing out.